Hey y'all, welcome to TRUUU Podcast. I'm your host Alex.
And I'm Drea.
And today we're going to talk about something that's very exciting for Drea.
Yes,
because just the other day, we were talking, hanging out, whatever, and she was expressing her sadness over the fact that she's the only one of her friends, like her age group of friends, immediate friends, who's married. So she was saying to us, she's like, you guys need to get on top of getting married, man. Like, it just needs to happen. I'm going through wedding withdrawals. Like, I need to be in a wedding.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, for how many years was it? 4 years in a row. So last year and then 4 years before last year, every single year I was in a wedding. Like, whether it be mine or I was a bridesmaid or I was a maid of honor, you know? Like, so, like, for 4 years, I'm used to going through the motions of preparing a wedding. So right. This year is like, on top of it being COVID, there's no wedding, so I'm just like, somebody needs to get married.
So Drea's special request here of me was she wants me to describe, I guess, my ideal wedding, what I want my wedding to be someday. Now, fact check here. Let's just like lay it out here that I'm nowhere close to getting married.
Well, I mean, in the literal sense of it, correct, you're not. But you never know.
Right. You know, never know, but right now I'm in no position to get married. This is all hypothetical stuff.
Right, all hypothetical.
I'm not secretly engaged or anything.
No. And also, I also want to preface all of my part of this, because after Alex talks about, like, what she would like for her ideal wedding, I'm going to throw at her what I would like for her wedding. And I want to say, Ms. Wiersma, if you're listening, don't take any of this to heart, because I'm sure probably like 90% of it will not make it to the final cut, but I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, so, I mean, not only is it Drea's life ambition to just, like, set me up, but she wants to marry me off as well. She wants to see it through to the very end.
Oh, so. Yeah, 100. I was actually thinking about adding the whole engagement process to my notes, but I'm like, okay, that's a little step too far, because I don't even know who the husband's going to be. I don't know what his style's going to be, so I was like, okay, I'll leave the engagement part out.
Okay, well, I guess if you're saying that, then I'll just, like, put, the couple notes out there that I would say for that is, like, one, they'd have to ask my dad first.
But obviously. Here's the thing. Don't worry. I know you.
I would brief, like you and Nicole. I'd be like, hey, this is what I want. This is the advice that you are to give. One of which, the most important being, my dad's permission needs to be asked.
100%. No part of me was ever going to skip that part. Like, that was going to be, like, if you, whoever your husband's going to be were to come to me and be like, hey, I'm thinking about asking Alex to marry me, I'd be like, what did her dad say? You know, like, that'd be the first thing I say.
Right. So, I mean, that's our 2 seconds that we're going to spend on that particular thing.
Right.
So, I guess, in preparing for this whole thing, like, it really just goes to show how I haven't thought too much about this, like, ever.
Amazing. Like, I feel like that's a really, well, I don't know, is it? Like, I have always thought about my wedding, like, my whole life.
I think it just depends who you are.
Maybe.
I mean, for me, I've thought about certain parts, but in general, I don't think that I'm super picky about how things go. But I guess I won't really know that until the actual situation.
True.
And then, a big part of it for me at least is I'm not going to really know what I'm going to want to do until, I'm engaged to an actual person who has their own opinions as well.
Come on, Alex.
I mean,
the woman chooses. Let's be real. The guy just puts a little 2 cents here and there.
I'm pretty sure that my older brother was pretty involved in...
Okay, but that's also your older brother.
That's true. But I'm just saying that it could be possible
it's
that...
True. You're right. I feel, from my experience with my wedding, with my sister's wedding, with Paulette's wedding, it has always been that, like, the women have done all of the, like, designing, planning, kind of, like, the detail work of the wedding, and then the guy is more there for, like, oh, I like that color. Oh, I think that's pretty. Like, I want to choose my tuxedo kind of deal.
Right.
Which, don't let them do their tuxedo, Alex. Learn from my mistakes.
Are you talking about Aaron's pants?
Yes! When am I ever not talking about Aaron's pants? Okay, guys, really fast. My husband, I gave him one job to go get his pants fitted. And what happens? He comes to the wedding wearing parachute pants. I will never forgive him in our life.
Realize that that's a little bit hyperbole, but yes.
Nope. Never forgive him.
Anyway.
He's dead to me.
So, I mean, I guess I'll start with the things that I've, like, kind of thought about. Well, more so because you asked.
Okay.
And, you know, these are all subject to... really, the whole thing's subject to change, obviously. But this is, like, stuff that I'm more, like, whatever about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess starting off at, like, not so important, like, color scheme.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite color is blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, I imagine I'd have some... blue, like, is the dominant kind of color, but with, you know, some nice complementary colors in there.
Okay.
Like, maybe gold, because I'm leaning more towards... I used to be really into silver, but now I'm more so into gold as far as, like, accents and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, all my earrings are gold and stuff, so
yeah,
just,
totally.
like, I think that I like the blue and gold sort of thing, or maybe, like, purple.
Okay.
This face that she's making already.
Because I want to add to it from my notes, but I'm like gonna let you have your moment. So go ahead, you first, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Let me have my moment for my own wedding. Thank you so much.
Literally, like this isn't about you, Alex.
Apparently not. All right, so another thing that I've like a little bit thought about is like the dress itself.
Yes.
So this is like, this really depends on the situation. It depends on when I get there, because one thing
has to go with the venue.
Well, yeah, I guess. But, like, my major consideration there is that my mom actually saved her wedding dress for me.
Oh, are you thinking of wearing it?
Maybe.
Okay,
what it kind of just depends on, you know, when I get there. But the thing is that my mom was so much thinner than me.
Ooh.
So I'm just kind of like, I don't know how feasible that's going to be, so I don't know how I want to incorporate that if I do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, that's something that me and her are going to have to, like, figure out, like, once we're there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But if I were to get, like, a new dress,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't want something strapless.
Okay.
Because I have man shoulders.
Okay, you know what? I can't even with you, Alex. I cannot even. Shut up. Go on.
She says this because she thinks that she also has man shoulders.
I have literally football player pad shoulders. Like, don't get me started, Alex. Push forward here.
But I don't like myself in strapless things, is really what I'm getting at. So,
but what about that one dress that you tried on for my wedding when we were looking for the bridesmaids dresses? Remember that blue one at that, like, upland little boutique that was strapless? That was so cute.
It was cute, but I still hate my shoulders.
Ugh, whatever. Okay, go on.
It's probably just because my arms, like, aren't at all toned or anything, so maybe if I were to, like, get swole or something, then it would be, like, okay. But, like, I think something, you know... I actually had a friend who got married right after college, whose dress I really liked, where she kind of had, like, almost, like, toolish straps.
Okay. Like,
not, like, you know, a thin strap or whatever, but it was kind of, like, a nice strap. Like,
was it, like, a capped shoulder?
Not quite, because I don't think I do that either, but I like the idea of something with straps.
Okay.
And...
when you say straps, can it be just, like, let's say, like, not like, obviously not like a tank top, but like, you know, those dresses that have the deep V's and they have like, it goes up, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, something on a little bit the more conservative side, just because, you know me.
You're in for a treat when I show you the wedding dresses I chose out for you.
Anyway, so, you know, something like that, and then I'd probably want, like, the skirt to be, like, kind of flowy.
Interesting.
Because... okay. I think my hips are kind of awkward, so anything like in the mermaid area probably wouldn't do well for me, I think.
This is a very interesting conversation we're having here, okay?
But that's just, you know, the very little I've thought of it. Obviously, I just try on stuff to see, you know, what works and what doesn't.
Right.
I mean, at this point, I think that I'd only take my mom with me.
Okay.
Don't get all butthurt.
That's fine. Doesn't bother me at all.
There's a lot of time between here and there, but I know that I'd probably keep the group very small, because, like, I've seen episodes of Say Yes to the Dress.
Oh my god, okay, but Say Yes to the Dress is so dramatic. Like, they have to make it dramatic for the show. Like, that doesn't actually happen.
That's not the point, though, but I do think that, like, too many cooks in the kitchen is a problem.
True.
So...
we'll revisit that.
The group would be pretty small, but the one person that would have to be there is definitely my mom.
Yeah, obviously.
So, like, for the time of the year... for me, would be spring, because that's my favorite time of year, just because it's not too hot, not too cold. And really that's, you know, that for the time of year, I guess. For the bridal party, I'm not going to, like, say who it would be, just because I want to keep that list private and, you know, until it's relevant, because obviously that could change, as time goes on.
Totally.
But
not me, obviously.
No.
Okay, come on.
But I can't imagine, like, on my own end, it'd be more than, like, 5 or 6.
Okay.
Like, I don't want necessarily a huge bridal party.
You don't want my bridal party, is what you're telling me.
I don't want a huge bridal party. That sounds overwhelming.
It is. Yeah, I agree with you.
And also that becomes a too many cooks in the kitchen sort of deal, like, especially, like, when you talk about bridesmaid dresses and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily have much of an opinion about that as of right now. Like, I don't know whether or not I like the matchy-matchy of the same dress.
Or, like, the different colors and stuff.
I probably would, if I were to say, like, different dresses, I think it would be all in the same color.
Oh, okay. Like, have you seen my sister's wedding? Have you ever seen her pictures?
I believe so.
How all the bridesmaids, like, it was all, like, a shade of blue.
Right.
But, like, they're all kind of different, but they're all, like, cohesive.
See, that sounds like so much work, though.
I mean, the reason she ended up going that path was, like, because Alfred Angela had went bankrupt, and so half the girls didn't get their dress, and so they had to scramble. But it ended up looking cute.
Right.
So, I don't know. Another idea.
I mean, because that's the thing, like, as well, like, another consideration for that, because I think, you know, if left to my own devices, I'd probably say just all the same dress to, you know, just cut down on the stress of it.
That's what I did, totally.
But I'd like to think that whoever's in my bridal party wouldn't be putting up a fight about it and saying, this doesn't work for me, that doesn't work for me, sort of deal. Because, I mean, I feel like the covenant, the compact, you know, the deal you make with your friends, especially coming to an age where you know you're going to be in a lot of each other's weddings, is, hey, this is your day. I'm going to do what I need to do for your thing and expect me to do the same for yours.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, that's my 2 cents about that, I guess.
Yeah, 100% I'm with you.
I thought the idea of first looks is interesting because I know some people do it, like, when you're walking down the aisle, and some like to do it beforehand, like, with just, like, the bride and groom. Mm-hmm. I think that I'd want the full effect of, like, walking down the aisle and that be the first one.
Here's my 2 cents on that, Alex.
Okay.
Because my whole life, that was like, okay, so when I was meeting with my photographer and everything, he asked me, like, what's the one thing that is, like, the most important to you? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I do not want Aaron to see me before I walk down the aisle. I want to get his emotion the second I walk down the aisle. You know, I want those pictures. I want the emotion. I want everyone crying. This is it. So I was so against a first look. Cut to my actual wedding. And when I walked down the aisle, because of all the emotions and because, like, I hadn't seen Aaron that whole day and, like, just so much going on, I was bawling from the second I started walking down the aisle. So not a single picture is cute. Like, not a single picture is cute. Like, it is just ugly. So I am with you on the whole, I want the whole, like, first look there. But the second, like, on the second note, like, I don't know, consider if you want it documented cute, probably not going to be the best outcome.
I hear you, but we're going to revisit that later.
Okay.
And then, like, the whole music issue of live band versus DJ sort of deal. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of live bands, but I think in general I probably just want to go with the DJ because, like, everyone wants the freedom, or at least I would want the freedom of having any particular song that I'd want, you know, being played at a particular time. So I feel like that has to be a DJ of some kind.
Totally.
I mean, other than that, I don't really have much an opinion on it. Food, which I am a little bit more opinionated about, but also be very dependent on, you know, the person I was marrying.
Right.
Because if left to my own devices, which I don't know if it really goes well, I guess, with, you know, dressing up. But I really like Southern comfort sort of food.
Okay.
So that'd probably be, like, the lane that I go down.
Okay.
Just because I feel like, you know, growing up, I was never really satisfied that much with, like, wedding food. Like, I liked the food at your wedding.
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you.
And
it was Mexican.
Yes, it was. She had, okay, so these appetizers, like, right after,
yeah, it's so good.
Right after she got married, like, when it was about to start flowing into the reception, but, like, pictures still need to be taken and whatever, like, we're all, like, sitting, like, all the bridal party was sitting in one area, and Drea and Aaron were taking pictures with different, you know, family members and different people and whatever. And the servers were coming out with appetizers. And there was these really bomb mini quesadillas.
Oh my God,
that I was,
so
like,
good.
all about.
They were so good. And that's the thing with with that particular venue, like, part of the whole deal is the food, you know, like, it's included in the package. And so, like, 2 weeks before our wedding, we had to go down there and select all the appetizers and select all the courses, like, you know, everything that, like, was prepared for us. And I remember specifically we were going between the quesadillas, and they had, like, these little, like, Tex-Mex kind of egg rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, let's do the quesadillas. And I was so glad we did because they were really good.
You made the right choice.
They were really good.
I was very happy, like, sitting there, because, like, my feet hurt in the shoes that I wore. I've not worn those shoes since.
That sucks.
Like, my feet were, like, they're very pretty shoes, but
yeah,
I just
totally.
never was able to wear them again.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, those quesadillas were really good. So I'd probably go Southern Comfort sort of area.
Love it. I love peach cobbler.
I wouldn't have peach cobbler.
God, Alex, you're just crushing my dreams.
I don't like
here.
cooked fruit.
You need to stop.
I mean, like, as far as cake goes...
I was going to say, like, what about the cake? Like,
I hadn't thought about it, actually. Like, that's not in my notes at all. But, you know, thinking about it right now, I guess, I'd probably want something either, like, chocolate or marble.
Okay.
I wouldn't want a fruit filling. I hate fruit fillings so much in cake.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
Fight me. I really just don't like
It's
it.
no big deal.
It, like, seeps into the cake.
I really like chocolate ganache, so I can
Ooh.
go for that.
Yeah, sure. And I
Okay.
think, like, buttercream frosting would be really good. I
Yeah,
really
like ganache on the inside, buttercream on the outside.
Right.
Be a decadent cake.
I'd be very into it.
Okay.
All right, so one thing, which is very, very, very much going to be controversial, like, trigger for my friends, but knowing how my family is,
Yeah.
it's going to be a dry wedding.
No.
Just wait.
Okay.
But my cousins from Idaho, because all my family really does dry weddings,
Okay.
for the most part.
Okay.
My cousins from Idaho can always be counted upon to bring flasks.
Okay, yeah, but like, we'll revisit that when the time comes. It also depends on, what if you marry like a Mexican guy? That cannot be a dry wedding. A Mexican family is not going to go for a dry wedding.
See, this is what you get though when you're asking me, like, hey, what's it going to be like?
For you, I totally agree.
Right. So I mean, if left to my own devices, it's probably going to be a dry wedding.
Would you want a dry wedding, or do you feel like your family like would expect a dry wedding?
I feel like beer and wine is okay.
Yeah. That's what my sister had. Like, she had beer, champagne, and wine.
I wouldn't want...
Hard alcohol.
No.
Yeah, I totally...
I'm just like, I don't need people to be getting trashed.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, my wedding was, like, mainly champagne, you know?
Right. So, I mean, I feel like there's a happy medium where I'd be comfortable.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not something I need.
Yeah, I feel you.
And also, I want to have all my facilities about me, like, on that particular day.
On your wedding day, I'll be really surprised if you manage to get, like, tipsy, because I was not able to with all the things going on that day.
So, moving on to things then that, like, I do feel strongly about.
Okay.
First one, which might be something that surprises you, maybe, is I want a church wedding.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, like, I want a church wedding, for sure. Like, that's...
I figured.
One of the only things, like, growing up that I'm just like, this is, like, what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Do you, like, would your reception be at the church?
No.
Okay, good.
I mean, I imagine that, like, I haven't, like, thought too much about where the reception would be. I imagine, like, at a golf course or something.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you this. Would it matter which church? As long as it's a Christian church? Or you have to do some vetting before? Or is there a specific church you're like, I have to get married at this church?
Well, that would depend on, you know, where I'm at in my life at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably want it to be at my home church.
Mm-hmm.
At whatever my home church is at the time.
Okay.
That's... Because I'd want to be married by someone, like a pastor who knows me.
Right. I asked that because, well, we'll get to it when I get to my part.
Another thing that Drea really wants is for someone to have a destination wedding.
That's part of my thing.
Right. So I'm just kind of like, destination wedding really isn't my thing.
Well, just let me pitch it, okay?
We'll get there when we get there. So the second thing, which might be a little bit goofy, but I think once you hear it, you'll understand.
Okay.
Is I want milk to be an available drink option.
You're so... that's so you. God.
Well, you know what's super cute about it, though? Because it's kind of like almost like a tradition thing as well. I don't remember if my brothers did it. I'm pretty sure that they... Well, I know Jacob did because he served...
Pancakes.
Yeah, he served breakfast at his reception, but I'm pretty sure my older brother did as well. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of like a family tradition thing.
And that's cute. Like I don't think that's quirky. I think that's
like
cute.
At my parents' wedding, apparently, like, some of the waiters were, like, carrying around, like, a tray with, like, cartons of milk on it.
That's cute.
Isn't it?
I was gonna say it'd be really cute to, like, carry around trays with, like, flutes of milk.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's cute. I do think it's, like, it's very you.
Right.
I would never, but, like, it's on brand for you.
Right. And I think that it kind of goes with the whole Southern Comfort thing anyway.
Yeah, totally.
So there you go. One thing I absolutely know also, which we're circling back now to the first looks thing, is regardless of what happens, I'm going to be crying from beginning to end.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can attest to that.
With you know, brief pauses throughout, but, like, for sure, I'm just going to be crying.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, even if I were to have my first looks beforehand, I'm pretty sure that walking down the aisle, I'd still end up crying anyway.
Yeah, maybe. You're right.
So I'm just like, it's kind of...
I mean, that's something that's, like, super... I don't think that's, like, going to make or break a wedding, you know, do you have a first look or not? So, I mean, that could be decided with your husband, I guess.
Right. And, like, that's the whole thing that I guess, you know, some people, I guess, don't realize about me, is that I am indeed emotional, and it will for sure come out in that day.
Oh, 100%. I was a mess on my wedding day. It's like, yeah, how could you not?
Yeah, I remember being, like, a little bit, like, flabbergasted, kind of, at your wedding, like, while, you know, everything was happening, just, like, sobbing. I was just sobbing up there, you know, with my bouquet just, like,
literally, yeah. I remember, because, like, for the most part, my like, the whole day of my wedding, I was pretty, like, chill, had it together, because it hadn't quite hit me, and it wasn't until we were at the venue, and, like, everyone was finally dressed, and I think the photographer was, like, to my mom, he's like, okay, tell her something that'll make her cry.
Right, yeah.
And literally all she said was, like, I love you, and I was like, Mom! And everything from there was just, like, a tear fest.
All right, so speaking of tear fest, the next thing is I cannot imagine a situation where I'll be able to hold it together during the father-daughter dance.
Okay. That's cute.
And also, like, I guess that first look or whatever, like, you know, the pictures, like, before or whatever, like, that whole thing, not gonna be able to handle it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
KO'd.
Oh, yeah. Well, 100%. Like, when your dad sees you for the first time when you're all done up, like, that's definitely gonna be emotional.
Yeah, I think any, like, part of my wedding, like, especially concerning my dad, like, I'm just gonna be sobbing.
Oh,
like, people are gonna be wondering, does she really want to get married? She's just gonna be like, I'm gonna
save me.
Beside myself crying.
That's cute.
So, like, to that end, I cannot even imagine what song I'd pick for that dance.
Yeah. And that's definitely, like, details that would be decided, like, later on.
So I'm just kind of like, what song would, like, be, you know, the perfect song for that moment?
I feel like...
I don't even know.
My song that I chose for my father-daughter dance is, like, really perfect for me. Just because, like, it was a Michael Bublé song. Mind you, my wedding was a Christmas-themed wedding. And the Michael Bublé song is called Daddy's Little Girl. And it was, and, like, so Michael Bublé, his Christmas soundtrack was, like, largely played at my wedding. And then, like, that song was, like, really on brand because, like, the music was already his. But this one's, like, this dad singing about how his little girl is, like, always, like, the star on the tree on Christmas and, like, the light of their day. And it was, like, so perfect because my dad loves Michael Bublé, too. So, like, that one, like, I felt like was so perfect for, like, the time, you know, like, I would have never thought of that song to be the song until, like, I was actually there planning my wedding. So I feel like that's, like, something, like, you'll have to decide, like, when you decide the time of your wedding, where it's going to be, like, what the feel is going to be. You know what I mean?
Right. I imagine, like, it's going to be a really, you know, happy event, obviously, for my whole family and my parents. But I also imagine that, you know, it'll be dually happy and dually hard for my parents.
Yeah, totally.
Especially my dad.
Totally, yeah. You being the only girl, 100%. Prepare yourself, Mr. Wiersma. It's endgame. Donezo.
Okay, so the last thing that I have on my list here that is just, like, a must is the last song of the night has to be Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses.
You're so funny. Okay, why?
For my parents.
Oh,
because that's my parents' wedding song.
Oh, cute.
And like,
that's sweet.
That's also the last song that was played at my older brother's wedding, so it's kind of like almost a tradition as well.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
I want that to be the last song.
That's super cute. So that's your whole list?
Those are my opinions on my own wedding. Now educate me, Andrea, on what my wedding's gonna be.
Let me just tell you.
I'm sorry, Mom, in advance.
She's like, no, I'm tuning out. Okay, so let's begin with the dress. My dress for my wedding was more of like a princess ball gown kind of style. It was very poofy at the bottom, like very like zha on the top.
I feel like that fits Christmas too.
Yeah, and it was really appropriate for like the theme.
Right.
For you, I envision more of a mermaid / trumpet style dress with like a lot of lace and like tulle or like satin. So let me show you a few pictures really fast, Alex. And obviously, okay, here's the thing. Obviously, they're a little bit like scandalous, but like something in this vein. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. One thing I did forget to mention though, by the way, is that I'm very much pro veil.
Yes, I have a comment on veil.
Okay, so what I'm looking at here. Oh, so is this one a trumpet style?
No, that one is mermaid.
Really?
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. That is trumpet. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one.
I'm just like, mermaid's a little bit tighter fitting.
No, you're right. That's a trumpet.
So I'm actually not, like, mad at the trumpet style.
Mm-hmm.
This dress is a little bit too low cut for my taste, and I feel like around the stomach would be a little bit too see-through.
Yeah.
But I'm not also mad at the off-the-shoulder straps.
Mm-hmm.
I do like those.
Okay. I'm sending you another one. I think you're going to feel better about this one because it is more modest on the top.
Okay, yeah, I like that one a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. It's cute. It's very you, I feel like.
So yeah, this one that I'm looking at right now is like pretty lacy like throughout, but like the sides are kind of almost satiny, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have like straps that I would like. It is pretty like modest to the neckline.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Good. Save it for your
I
future
don't
reference.
think that I'm thin enough for it.
Stop. But also, like, a lot of wedding dresses have, like, corsets, so you can't say no until you try it on. This last one is more of, like, a different style, but I can see you wearing something like this, too. This one's more satin-based.
I think this one is my least favorite.
Really?
Of the three, this being the third one that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's cute. I think it's a little bit on the plain side.
Okay.
I think I like the lacy.
Yeah, me
look.
too. That's why that was one of the main things that I was like, I feel like I see you in a lacy dress.
Right.
Okay, so that's like my idea for your dress. Now, your bachelorette party. This is going to be challenging because obviously, traditionally, bachelorette parties are a little bit scandaloso, you know? Like, it's your last hurrah before being a married woman. I know that your sisters are probably not so much in that kind of, like, you know, feel. Especially being that, like, one of your sisters now has a kid and, you know, like, it's just not so much their thing. So.
Well, I mean, like, it's all within reason, I guess, because, like, you know, I don't like when things get too crazy either.
Right.
But I think that there's a middle ground, because, like, I like to go out dancing, for example.
Yeah, totally.
I like that.
100%.
I'm for that.
So this is my idea. Because I feel like, you know, there is, like, that line, obviously. Like, I don't think a Vegas bachelorette party would necessarily be the best option.
No.
So my idea is Napa, California. We go up there for, like, a few days, go to some wineries, do some wine tasting, have spa days, get some massages, and then, like, one of the nights we go to a club.
Okay. I'm not mad at that plan.
Yeah, it's a good plan, right?
I think that it's good that you're trying to pace it back to something that'd be more my speed.
I would obviously, this whole thing is, like, things that I feel like you could like.
Right.
Like, it's my vision, but for you. Okay, so next, the bridal shower.
Okay.
This is also challenging because historically, bridal showers were, like, where we can, like, shower you in lingerie and, like, all this, like, scandaloso, like, you know, underwear for, like, once you get married.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine your mother watching you open a thong. So this is definitely another thing that I'm like, okay, how can we go around this where we're not, like, insulting your family?
Well, I don't think it'd be an insult to my family. I think it's just, I wouldn't want to do that in front of my mother either. But here's also something that I could pose to you, is that a bridal shower doesn't have to be, like, all together. Like, my older sister had 2 bridal showers. Like, one was just her friends and then one with family.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, we could do that. But, I mean, I would love to embarrass you and, like, just give you a bunch of, like, really dirty lingerie. But I feel like you'd be like, what are you doing to me? So,
that'd be a correct assumption.
So, I'm thinking something a little more classy. Here's what I'm thinking. This is one overall, like, theme.
Uh-huh.
I am airdropping you some images. Okay. Huntington Gardens. They allow you to reserve a tea room, the Rose Tea Room. We have a high tea themed bridal shower where like everyone has to come like dressed like really like zsa, like really fun hats, like that whole Victorian style, finger foods, cucumber sandwiches, like scones, and like lemon water, lemonade, teas, iced tea, whatever. And I feel like that'd be like super cute because it's like, oh my God, it's like, it's just cutesy, you know? That's my one idea for your bridal shower. My other idea for your bridal shower would be at an arboretum, and it's more of like a whimsical nature theme. Those are my 2 ideas. Do you like either of them?
I think I like the tea party one a little bit more than the whimsical nature one. I mean, I'm not totally sold on that either, but it's more appealing to me because, like, I don't really like finger foods usually that much. Do you want like full meals at your bridal shower? Probably. Or maybe like if it's finger foods, because I feel like I don't like ladylike finger foods, like that whole thing. Because like I think like cucumber sandwiches, which sounds like the worst thing like in the universe to me.
It's good. Okay. I mean, obviously we would get things that you like.
Right.
But okay, that's like.
But I mean, I like the cute, like, outfits and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was cute, too. And I just think, like, Huntington Gardens is so close by. Like, the tea room is so cute. Like, I feel like it would, like, work out. But that's obviously, like, something that we could work out in the future. Okay, now we're talking about the nitty-gritty, the wedding venue. So, let me pitch this to you.
Okay.
Destination wedding. 3 options. Okay, first option, Mexico. Hear me out. 2 options in Mexico. The first one, Cabo. Let me send you pictures. This is just 3. So this wedding would be obviously like the beachy kind of feel wedding. Let me tell you the palette that I chose for it. The colors that I envision would be like greens, oranges, yellows, like very tropical. Like all of the display would have a lot of palm leaves. You would get married like, or you would have your reception like on the beach if you look at those pictures.
I've always liked the look of beach weddings. I feel like how it is, like, in a practical sense is always difficult because, like, I see the first photo of, like, the couple under that arch, and the veil is, like, fluttering in the wind, which makes a really pretty picture.
Yeah.
But also, if the wind's going, like, a little bit crazy and, like, hair is, like, whipping around in people's faces and, like, obviously there are microphones involved and, like, that gets
messy. Totally. So that's my least favorite of the couple. I do like the idea of a beach wedding, like you said, but also in Mexico we have the humidity factor, so it's like I don't know if I would necessarily like 100% lean towards that. So my next option for the Mexico wedding is a little town in Guanajuato called San Miguel de Allende. You didn't go to it the last time I went to Mexico, but it is so beautiful. I think it was rated in like 2017 like the #1 place in the world to live. So look at some of those pictures. The color scheme for this one, I feel like, would be much more like reds, like wine colors, like deep reds, deep purples, like that kind of color scheme, like really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like very like blood kind of colors. You know what I'm talking about?
I gotta say, I really like the picture that you sent of the table setting. Like, it's kind of, I'll describe it to you guys. So it's kind of like a very open air, like sort of area that kind of like has a canopy, but it seems to be a little bit see-through, and like there are jars hanging with like candles in it, and like wood accents like for the chairs and whatever. I think that's really pretty.
Yeah, super.
As like the sun setting sort of deal.
Yeah, so these are all pictures from the city and like different wedding venues they have there. So like this is like, and especially like the pictures like on the street, like the wedding pictures on the street, where like you see the different colors of the like the buildings around, and then like this stone cobblestone floor, and like you have like, you know, all the little accents of the mariachi around you. Like, I just feel like that's so beautiful. Maybe not your style, but I think it's really pretty.
It is pretty.
So that's my second Mexico option. Okay, moving away from Mexico. Oh, and this would have to take place like over like New Year's time for optimal weather, or maybe late summer. But the only issue with late summer is that there's like tropical storms, so probably like New Year's time. Oh, and then also for Cabo, that would also have to be like New Year's because Mexico weather is different. Okay, the next one. Ireland. This would have to be summer.
You wanted to get married
because
in Ireland,
I want to get married in Ireland, and I want to travel to Ireland. I only have 2 pictures. Oh, wait, no, I had 3 pictures. Where's my other one?
Mm-hmm.
And this one would definitely be like a castle wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so much more like royal. So for this one, the color palette would be like deep blues, deep purples, deep greens, like something like a royal color scheme. So I feel like this goes a lot with like your whole like blues, purples kind of idea.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're fine. I don't like them as much as the one in Guanajuato.
I feel you. I mean, it can't be Mexico. It's also cheaper. Okay, so we're scratching Ireland. The next one, this is the last one. The next one, Netherlands.
Okay.
Because this, BB, is obviously, you know, your hometown.
The fatherland?
The fatherland. So, motherland. So, this is an idea I had, sending you a few pictures. This one, I didn't have as much opinion on just because I've never, like, studied the Netherlands. But I feel like these pictures are super cute. And there could be something maybe you, like, feel gravitating towards. And I feel like Southern food can go with, like, the feel of this wedding.
See, here's really three things that I like a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
The first picture is, like, the couple, like, looking at each other, you know, wistfully and whatever. And they're in a countryside sort of locale, and there's a windmill in the background, which 100% is up my alley.
Yeah,
being,
I know.
You know, a half-Dutch Jerry girl.
Yeah, I know.
Like, 100% I'm like, yeah, this speaks to me.
That's why I got this one.
I really like the picture of the couple in the boat in the canal, because if you don't know, the Netherlands has a lot of like canals that you could like ride boats in and stuff. Like that's a mode of transportation over there.
Right.
And then I like that like the ceremony picture is in a church. Because obviously, you know,
yeah, and
I want to get married in church, so
right.
that, you know, appeals to me.
And this is also part of my question where I was just like, does it matter which church? Because I'm like, if we go to the Netherlands, you're going to have to find another Christian church to marry yourself in.
Yeah. I mean, I think that of the destination weddings, the one that I'm most sold on is the Netherlands. And see, like, that's my whole thing. Like, I don't see myself at all having a destination wedding. But, you know, at heart, I am kind of like a country girl sort of thing. Not that I want to have, like, a Western, like, country-themed wedding, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I like, you know, the idea of, like, vast greenery and countryside sort of deal.
Yeah, totally.
Like, so if you were to try to sell me on something outdoors like that, like, that's where you'd get me, but church wedding.
I mean, obviously, you're going to have a church wedding, but then we have, like, outdoorsy kind of, like, you know, kind of countryside feel. And then imagine how cool that would be. Like, do you have family in the Netherlands?
Distant family, yeah.
Like, imagine inviting them. And here's the other thing that I love about destination weddings, which I don't know if you feel particularly moved by, but I feel like destination weddings, like, you can expand who you invite because not a lot of people go. And then ultimately you're saving money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess the flip side of that is I'd want a lot of my family to be there.
But, like, obviously the people who care about you are going to be the ones that go.
That's not necessarily true.
Who would not go from your family that you would want there?
That's not... Okay, so here's my whole thing. Because I feel like, you know, something to consider is, like, it's not... If they weren't to go because it's a destination wedding, that would have, you know, no bearing on how much they care about me. Like, absolutely not. You know... Some of them have pretty big families and, like,
I guess,
live in, like, because, like, the different parts, like, where different parts of my family live is not, like, California in the sense of, you know, making, like, similar, like, incomes. Like, you don't need to live on as much. Like, you have to make a lot of money to live well out here in California.
Yeah, I feel like I get what you're saying.
So I'm just kind of, like, not, you know, that my family is, like, poor or anything, because they're absolutely not, but it's just, like... There's that, and then I'm not sure that I'd want to ask that of them. Like, I'd want them to be there, but I would never ask them to spend that much money on me.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, consider it. I just want to travel. Okay, so my last comment. If you're to have a local wedding, I also said spring wedding. I said maybe early May, maybe late April. Color palette, I felt like soft greens, pinks, and yellows. Very consistent with the springtime. And I really didn't have a venue for, like, around here. I don't see you getting, like, having your reception at a golf course. I don't see that. I see something more, what's the word? Relevant to you?
And what is relevant to me? I'm curious.
Well, like, golf course, like, what the heck? How is golf course relevant to you? You know what I mean? Like, I see more of, like, I don't know, like something warmer in feel, or like a nice courtyard, like not golf course, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, because I think, like, the honest truth of it for me, at least right now, is, like, the place, besides, you know, getting married at church, like, the reception place doesn't necessarily matter to me as much. Mm-hmm. Because obviously you want nice pictures, and that's 100% a consideration.
Yeah.
But, like, the event is really what's more important to me than, like, the actual...
ceremony,
like,
you mean?
Yeah, the ceremony and, like, the being with my family and friends, like, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, like, the wear.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. But, Alex...
Oh, one thing that I didn't mention before that 100% is going to have to be a thing because I can be kind of disorganized and not know where to start is I'm going to need a wedding planner. Really? Probably.
You think so? I'll be your wedding planner.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'll do it. No problem. Yeah, that's not, like, a thing for me. Like, when I was getting married, like, I was just like, I don't want anyone touching my wedding. Like, I'll figure it out myself.
And that's 100% in line with your personality, yeah, exactly. But you know my personality.
Yeah. But that's why I'm also like, I will plan your wedding. And here's the thing. These are all my ideas, and I would love to see these happen. But at the end of the day, like, I want you to be happy, and I want, like, your family to be happy, and I want your day to be your day. So ultimately, like, I don't care if you didn't go with any of my ideas. Right. I'm just like, let me propose it, mull it over. And whatever you choose, ultimately, I support.
I really say that I was pleasantly surprised by the Netherlands option that you showed me. Mm-hmm. I really like that picture of the windmill. It makes me pretty happy.
Yeah, think about it, yeah.
Shut up, dude.
I'll be there. I'll book the ticket right now.
I mean, obviously, we'll get to all that stuff when it is relevant, because as of right now, it's not. So, you know, we'll see what happens when we get there.
I think also, like, in the time before you get married, if we ever get out of this pandemic and we have the opportunity to travel, like, obviously I said that, like, our friend group, the next thing I want to do is travel to, like, the UK, right. Europe, and do stuff out there. So, like, if we also were to drop by the Netherlands and start looking around places, like, maybe you would also, like, be either more inclined or less inclined to, like, do something out there once you see it. You know what I mean?
I'd 100% be taking pictures in front of all the windmills.
Oh, yeah, totally. And also, I hope to go again to Mexico, and hopefully we can go to San Miguel, because it's so beautiful. That city's so beautiful. So, like, that's another... I know that you said that was, like, also, like, you know, not the bottom of your list.
I think that was the second one.
Yeah, so once you, like, see the places, I feel like it also, like, helps, like, confirm or deter, you know, a decision.
Yeah, so... hope you guys found that interesting or at least entertaining to see how our two visions aligned and diverged from each other.
Oh, wait, really fast before we say anything.
Okay, what?
My last comment is just about your veil.
Okay.
I really envision you having, like, a super long veil with no, like, lace embroidery, like, just plain tulle, like, really simple, but, like, long. Kind of like how mine was. I don't know if you remember.
I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I feel like a wedding gown that's, like, really, like, you know, like, detailed with the lace, and then a really simple veil, I feel like would go really well.
Another thing, now that we're just adding on things now, is I'd probably wear my hair down, because I don't like how my face looks with my hair up.
Shut up. But fair to wear your hair down.
Yeah. And plus, I like wearing my hair down just in general.
I feel you. Yeah, I like that idea.
Maybe I'll have long hair again by that time.
Maybe. Maybe I'll have short hair. I have something to tell you. Okay, but off camera. Or off the mic.
Okay. Well, thank you for hanging in there with us. It was enjoyable on our end. Hopefully it was enjoyable on yours. And who knows what we'll be talking about next time, but we promise we'll be posting more regularly now.
Yes, every Thursday. Tune in. It'll go live, I believe, 7 a.m.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging in there. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.